Welcome to another episode of Reddit Wolf. Without further delay, let's jump into today's episode. D-Day was 3 weeks ago, and while not a typical story, still devastated. Posted by Throwaway 2454555555. My wife and I have been through hell and back in the 10 years we were together before marriage, and that was what made me want to choose her as a partner and propose in 2020. We had the best year of our lives in 2022. Amazing wedding, reconnecting honeymoon. I'd really put work into our relationship and it was showing. Plus, promotions and work success as we geared up for kids. Unsuccessful, but we're actively trying, and house buying planning. We were flying pretty high by the end of 2022, but apparently for different reasons. We became super close friends in 2019 with a couple that we'd been sort of peripheral friends with for several years before that. The dude was from my wife's work, and we were extremely close with them and their kids. Once his wife became pregnant with a surprise kid over COVID, my wife and him became really close, texting all the time, more touchy-feely than I liked, though our community is a very touch-positive, so this actually bothered me the least, and hanging out on their own. Her being overly concerned with his well-being when we were on trips together, etc. To my knowledge, my wife has never had an affair, and we've been explicit in our monogamy over our 13 years together. Always trusted her, and we were doing so well. I walked in on them about at a party after everyone else had gone to sleep. Everyone was sober at this point in the night, and she insisted we stay over. She left our spare room and planned to meet him downstairs as we stayed over at their house, with his infant and wife upstairs. I left. I kicked her out immediately and forced a 72-hour hold on communication because I was worried I'd do something terrible. AP told OBS I was going to tell her, but he beat me to it, and she did the same to him. Later that week, I found out from OBS that she subsequently learned that this had been going on for 1.5 years. Long before we got married. Multiple instances of apparently no sex, but I think it's trickle truth. Hooking up that made it clear this was way more than just friendship that made a mistake. He's one of my closest friends on top of it all, and apparently justified to his wife that since I had told him I was happy with that my wife had a close friendship, that this implied consent for an affair. Insane. I'm beyond devastated. It's been a couple of weeks now, and I'm all the things you guys have felt. I kicked her out, weeks of drinking, crying, smashing our shit, and lots of therapy. Very thankful I curated a truly amazing community of friends for support as well. For what it's worth, she seems genuinely remorseful. Took full responsibility for the damage, the harm this has caused, didn't gaslight me, and has been honest with our friends and hates herself for what she's done. But the fact this went on for so long, it's not like she admitted it. I had to be traumatized by catching them. It makes me feel like it's crocodile tears. After endless soul searching and feeling like I need to make a decision, I'm going to tell her I want a separation, that she needs to move out for the foreseeable future. I don't see a way we get through this, but I know that she needs to face her own demons, and it's been hard to admit this has nothing to do with me or even us. She has to do work on herself, and I can't be here for it. Maybe one day something will rise from the ashes, but our relationship is destroyed. I don't see her as a partner anymore. 3 weeks ago, we were trying to have kids. Insane. I don't know what I'm asking. Still in shock and can't really think about reconciliation. I'm so exhausted right now. I just feel like I need to protect what sanity I have left and focus on finding some moments of joy for myself. And now, before moving on to the update, let's read some comments. Historical movie 625 said they had sex, and more than once. She hasn't taken responsibility, to which Admiral Bit 8478 replies, exactly. If she was truly remorseful, she would have had full disclosure and stopped with the lying. Ravina Landon says they have maintained an emotional and sexual relationship for a really long time, at least 1.5 years, while deceiving you, OBS, and the entire family. She did a great job acting like making you feel like you've just had the best year of your life and marriage and reconnecting honeymoon. At this point, how much ever she act to look like remorseful, I'd urge you to still look at it with a critical eye. She has proven to you that she can lie to you successfully with you being none the wiser. Consider the enormity of her betrayal. I really don't know how you can recover this marriage at this point. For all we know, OP, you were the side dude she has because her main dude was already taken. And now for the update. So I walked in on my wife, 1 year married, serious committed relationship for 12 years, cheating on me with one of our closest friends a month ago. Turns out they'd been off and on sleeping together for 2 years and a deep emotional affair, while OBS was pregnant or had an infant at home. I did things a bit differently than you all. I kicked her out right away. I arranged a meeting in neutral space after a 4 day cooling off period, raged at her, didn't give her a chance to talk, then went no contact for another 3 weeks. After getting more gory details from their affair from the OBS that they'd slept together for years prior, I scheduled a meeting with her and read her a letter essentially formalizing separation and logistics of it. Said I hope she does the work to fix herself because it's too late for our marriage. I didn't pull punches, but I felt like I was spiraling out without letting this out on her, and despite general advice to be totally non contact, I think we were both better for it. She's done pretty much everything right so far, I'll give her that much. Cut off, and friends have confirmed, the affair, no drinking, doing independent counseling. She's an absolute wreck, apologizing and disgusted with herself. I don't think she understands what she's really done to me, but she is very ashamed and cannot admit our 14-year relationship is over. Fully prioritizing my needs, taking responsibility, and owning up to it. Not that I can see getting through this with her or taking her back. Betrayal this deep is beyond the pale. Don't get me wrong, I don't trust her, though I do hope someday we can be amicable, but I'm just trying to set the stage. Because that's not what this thread is about. It's about me, not her. We have everything. Money, great jobs, our relationship was amazing, active sex life, great travel partners, trying to have kids the last couple of months, which she desperately wanted, looking to buy our first home, great community we nurtured. We certainly had conflict, struggles, but years of work. Relationships are work. Anyone who tells you different is, a fool. Had made our communication pretty solid. That's the real killer part here. She even admits it had nothing to do with us and independently agrees we were doing better than ever. Just that she was personally depressed and sought out validation in the hands of someone who gave her a ton of attention and got it in the most destructive and toxic way possible to me and us. I am still angry, don't get me wrong, but more so just so unbelievably sad. And it's 100 times the worst pain of my life. I mean that honestly. It's the grief and despair that's killing me. The loss of what we had. I think we've charted a pretty drama-free course for divorce and separation, despite the turmoil, but it's not even the point other than reducing my stress. It's the loss of a partnership. It feels like she's dead. I see her and it's just a ghost. I don't even matter that she's apologizing or what she's saying. There have been some hiccups and I've slipped up. Handling of shared assets, friends getting roped into the drama, fully getting pissed. but she's respected my wishes so far and took those incidents on the chin. I can't get past the senseless loss of my partner, my team, that I've clearly taken for granted so long, and that it was actually gone ages ago, and I didn't even know it. It's like watching the love of my life walk out in front of a bus on purpose, and afterwards I learned she was secretly an axe murderer. I cannot wish this pain on anyone. It's unimaginable. Somehow, it's worse to me because our relationship was so great. It's like the loss is just that much bigger. This was my absolute 100% teammate. I did everything with, trusted with my life, been through unbelievable hardship in our 20s and 30s, and just came off the best year of our lives: wedding, honeymoon, job success in competitive areas. It's the grief of losing that partnership, losing the partner, and losing the life I was full throttle towards. That the life I had is torn out of my grasp, and now I can barely get out of bed or eat. I'm attractive, tall, fit, and career accomplished with great friends and hobbies. I have my flaws, but I'm no stranger to female attention. That has become increasingly irrelevant to me in the past 3 to 4 years, and is why I proposed in the first place. I wanted a co pilot, not Tinder dates. She'd proven over a decade together that she was the person in spades. I have support, a therapist, and a community of friends that have showed up for me big time. But I've been through some pretty serious family trauma, and it doesn't even hold a candle to this pain and sense of loss. I know it's only been a month, but does this mountain of grief on my shoulders ever get lighter? It just seems to get progressively harder instead. I feel like I'm drowning. And now for some comments. Doppelganger2621 says, I'm sorry this has happened to you, and honestly, I'm glad you didn't make the same mistake as me and try to reconcile something that is bound to likely end in the future. Anyway, because even though she's doing everything right, it would most likely happen again. That said, yes, it gets better. I ended a 15-year marriage this year with 2 kids and felt similar to you, that I would never feel better, that I would always be drowning in the feelings, but it does get better. With time and focus on yourself, it gets easier. At some point, you'll totally become meh towards her, and that's the best feeling. You'll find love again when you're ready. Our spirits, our souls, our mind, they have fought this sadness for millennia, and it will all heal. I can say with confidence I'm happier now, right now, than I've been since I can remember, because I pruned the dead branches and leaves off my life and allowed new buds to grow and thrive. I'm dating an absolutely wonderful woman now who makes me happy every single day, where there's no bullshit and who understands the pain. She's also divorced due to an affair by her husband. It will get better. You're doing the right things. Stay strong and prune her from your life. And OP responds with, thanks. I know you tried reconciliation and it didn't work, but it gave you time to get your own closure when it happened. I'm just still so shocked. She's the last person on earth I'd have guessed that would throw away their lives like this. I like to think I'm pretty emotionally stable and a strong person, yet I feel like I'm carrying a boulder around. I don't trust myself at all. Breaking down at random times. Hell, I've had to pull over while driving. Accepting that the life I've fought tooth and nail to build together is never going to look the same. It's just tragic in the way a meteorite flattens your house is tragic. CMAS Wood says, the good news is that yes, it does get better. The pain diminishes, the triggers become less frequent and less intense. The bad news is that it takes time, and I've never heard of a successful method of making it go away quicker. After I discovered she was cheating, she was dead to me. We were married for 20 years. She didn't know I knew until I had her served. That was when I took control of the situation and never let go of that control. What really helped me was meeting a nice woman several months later. I guess there is a lot of truth to the saying that the best way to get over someone is to get under someone. Sorry, my attempt at humor. You will be in pain for a while. Accept that it is natural, but there is one thing will definitely help. Go absolute, total, 100%, no contact. Tell her that any communication must go through the lawyers. Also, go to the doctor and get tested for every STD known to man. Join a gym and go there as often as you can. One thing that really helped me was buying a 100-pound heavy punching bag and hanging it up in the basement. It was great to go down there and beat the hell out of it, burn off excess energy as well as anger and frustration. And you are right, in many ways she is dead. At least the woman you loved and thought you knew is dead. This strange, selfish woman that has taken over her body is no one you know. But the sad thing is that this selfish, cheating woman is who she truly was all along. You just didn't know it. Someone once described the best course of action for dealing with a cheater like this. She is a cancer, and you need to cut her out of your life. If you don't, the cancer will slowly grow and she will ultimately take your life. Good luck and be strong. You will get through this, and never accept being anyone's plan B. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. What do you think he should do? Write your thoughts down in the comments. And please remember to like and subscribe so I can help grow this channel. See you next time.